Welcome to the 13th chapter of the book of 1 Samuel. The kingdom of Israel now is starting to form around King Saul, young man. And it starts and it says, and Saul was a son a year in his taking reign. In 2 years he reigned in Israel. So this is right after his being anointed. And Saul chose for himself 3,000 men from out of the men of Israel. That would be for an army. And there were with Saul 2,000 in Michmash and in the mountain of Bethel, and 1,000 were with Jonathan in Gibeah of Benjamin. And Jonathan now is first mentioned as a son of Saul. We have a map here, so we'll go and Michmash is here and Bethel is up here. All this happens right in this area here. And the Philistines come across to attack Israel, but the army is now forming in Gibeah, where Saul probably grew up. And the rest of the people he sent out, each man into his tent. And Jonathan struck the Nasib, and the Nasib is like a stronghold or a fort of the Philistines in the hill. It doesn't say which hill, but a hill. And the Philistines heard of it, so he made a skirmish and did some damage. Philistines hear of it. And Saul trumped the trumpet in all the land, saying, the bondmen disregard us. The people that, bondmen here, I would imagine, are people that tied to Saul somehow. I'm not exactly sure. These people, Israelites themselves, or was he talking about some of the Philistines who may have been under tribute to some of the Israelites, which I doubt. So it's probably some sort of amalgamation of Israelite people that not going along with Saul again. And all Israel heard saying, Saul has smitten the Nasib of the Philistines. And Israel was put to shame by the Philistines. And like down here, you'll see it was treated with contempt. Israel is treated with contempt by these Philistines. Now that's another Complutensian Polyglot has that word instead. And send it up. Thought I had the link here. The people ascended up after Saul in Gilgal. So now we'll go up to find out where Gilgal is here. It's right behind my camera, I think. Oh, there it is. There it is over here, Gilgal. So these people are now getting pulled into it. And the Philistines gathered together for war against Israel. And they ascend upon Israel for war. 30,000 chariots, that's a lot. And 6,000 horsemen, and people as the sand by the edge of the sea in the multitude. Now, how they counted them, how exactly they knew, I don't know. And they ascend and camp in Michmash, right opposite according to Bethaven. And the man of Israel beheld that it was straightly to him for him to not lead forward. He couldn't go where he directly against these Philistines. And the people hid in the caves. The Speleis, a spelunker, is a cave person who goes in cave exploring. And in the layers and in the rocks and in the excavations and in the pits. So these people of Israel were hiding, trying to get away best they could, instead of going against them. And the ones passed over the Jordan into the land of Gad and Gilead. And so The Jordan is right here, and Gilead is on the other side. Gad is up here. So a lot of them are trying to get away from this battle that's coming up. And Saul was still in Gilgal. And all the people were receded after him, so they've went quite a ways eastward. And he stopped 7 days, according to the testimony, as Saul So apparently this Saul was given instructions by Samuel. And Samuel did not come unto Gilgal, and his people scattered from him. I think his people would be Saul's. And Saul said, so he's seeing all the people leaving and wants to do something about it. Samuel hasn't come like he's supposed to, so he comes up with this idea. He says, lead forward animals so that I should offer a whole burnt offering and peace offerings. Now, the offerings were up for the Levites, priests. His Saul was a Benjamin. And he offered the whole burnt offering. And it came to pass, as he completed offering the whole burnt offering, that, behold, Samuel arrived. And Saul came forth to meet him, to bless him. Oh, hello. And Samuel said, what have you done? Saul said, well, I saw that the people were scattered from me, and you came not in the testimony of the days as you set in order, and that the Philistines are gathered together in Michmash. And I said, now the Philistines shall come down to me in Gilgal, and the face of the Lord I beseech not. And I took control myself and offered the whole burnt offering. Not supposed to. And Samuel said to Saul, it is folly to you that you kept not my commandment, which the Lord gave charge to you, which apparently he was given earlier, as the Lord prepared your kingdom over Israel unto the eon. Didn't listen. And now your kingdom shall not stand with you. And the Lord shall seek for himself a man according to his heart. So Saul's heart apparently was to do it his way. And we all have that, a little bit of Saul in us, I believe. We don't want to do it God's way. People that I've known wanted to start a ministry. It was something that they wanted to do. And they went and had a building and started a ministry like a church, but that didn't work, and then they changed it into something else, and then that didn't work, and another morph into something else, and that didn't work. It was all there, I believe, was what they wanted to do. Here is what Saul wants to do, and I've done what I want to do instead of what the Lord wanted to do. But the heart is another thing. If you do things on your own, but you're still, you love the Lord and you're doing the best you can, and you think the Lord wants you to do something and you do it, even though it may not be. The Lord knows our hearts. I wanted to go and be a missionary in Canada, and the Lord stopped it, which I'm glad he did. So I was able to take care of my elderly mother for 4 or 5 years before she went to sleep to be with the Lord. So Samuel is telling, though, Saul that what he did was really bad, that the kingdom would be taken away. And the Lord shall give charge to him for a ruler over his people. For you kept not as many things as the Lord gave charge to you. So maybe other things that he has done. Saul may not even care anymore. He's the king. All these people are around him and so forth. Doesn't say, but it's a possibility. And Samuel rose up and went forth from out of Gilgal unto the hill of Benjamin. And Saul numbered the people being found with him, about 600 men. And Saul and Jonathan his son, and the people being found with him, stayed in Gibeah of Benjamin. So Gibeah is, where is Gibeah? This is it down here. There's Gibeah. Now again, behind my camera, I have to figure out another way of doing this with these maps in my camera. And the Philistines camped in Michmash. And men came forth to destroy from out of the field of the Philistines in 3 companies. And 1 company looking in the way of Ophrah towards the land of Shual, and 1 company looking upon the way of Beth-horon, and 1 company looking the way of Gibeah. So they were in the middle in that area I showed, looking towards Gai and Zeboim wilderness. And a fabricator of iron was not found in all the land of Israel. They weren't able to make swords. This is a period of 400 years, I believe, from Samuel to when Israel came out of the wilderness. And Joshua was able to take control over a lot of this land, but apparently they lost control over those periods of those 400 years. Because the Philistines here, they wouldn't let them make any type of weapon. And it says, because for the Philistines said, perhaps the Hebrews will make a broadsword and spear. And all Israel went down into the land of the Philistines, for each to forge his own reaping hook, and his utensil, and each his axe and his sickle. Those were the farming equipment that they wanted to make. And they would go to the Philistines and make these things for the Israelites, I believe. That's what it's saying. And the gathering of crops was prepared to harvest, but for the items, there was a charge of 3 shekels for the tooth. So apparently, saws that had a tooth, they would get charged each one when they were making it, so they had to pay the Philistines a bonus. And to the axe, we have here trees, and sikli. You can add that to your English derivatives book. Odonta, odontics for teeth, and axini, axe, transliteration. And the support camp was the same. And it came to pass in the days of the war that there was not found a broadsword and spear in the hand of all the people with Saul and Jonathan, but it was found with Saul and Jonathan his son. And the support camp of the Philistines went forth from out of the place on the other side of Michmash. So the battle is now forming, and what happens in that battle we'll find out in the next chapter 14. Hope you'll join us and find out who wins the battle. Till then, God bless.